next we have is electronegativity. What is electronegativity mean? Tendency of an element to attract the shared pair of electrons. We call it as electronegativity. Now as you move down the group, that is as you move down the 13th group, the electronegativity first it will decrease from boron to aluminium, and therefore there is a slight increase from gallium. Therefore there is no change at all. Similar trend we can see in the 14th group also. Now in other group and all, what is a general trend? It will be followed by the other group. So what is a general trend? The electronegative will be decreasing as the atomic radius increases. So this is similar to that of the ionization enthalpy only. So now electronegative will be decreasing, atomic radius will be increasing, because the size will be becoming larger and larger as you move down the group. Electronegativity means the element will be having sufficient electrons with it, so that it will not go and attract the electrons from the other element. Therefore the electronegative will be decreasing as you move down the group. Is it clear? So as you move down the group, the electronegative will be decreasing. For 13th group alone there is a slight deviation. Is it clear? Next we are going to see the anomalous properties of the first elements of the p block group. Is it clear? Now here what are the different anomalous means what? First, anomalous means deviating from the certain constant property, like from all the elements will be following certain kind of property. If any one particular element is deviating means it is showing some changes, means then we call it as deviating. It is deviating from normal kind, so we call it as anomalous. Is it clear? Now if you take in p block elements, the first member of each group will be differing from the other element corresponding to their group. So first group, 13th group boron, will be different from the carbon, and it will be different from oxygen. So on what basis they are different? First is small size of all the first member, then all the first member they have high ionization enthalpy and high electronegativity, because as you move down only they will be increasing. And third one is absence of d orbitals in their valence shell. So first one is small size of the first member, so because as you move down the size increases, and high ionization enthalpy and high electronegativity, because as you move down all this will be decreasing, but here it is high because they are first as a member. Third one is absence of d orbitals in their valence shell. They don't have any d orbital at all. So all the elements will be over in the s and p orbital itself. All the electrons will be filled in the s and p orbital itself. They will not go to the d orbitals. Now first, if you take the 13th group, the first member 13th group, that is boron, which is a metalloid. Boron alone, it is a metalloid. Remaining others are reactive metals. Like boron shows a diagonal relationship with silicon. How it is showing a diagonal relationship with silicon? Diagonal relationship means what? Like a cross relationship. Like a cross relationship, if you see the periodic table, you can understand. So can you see here, boron, it is showing a diagonal relationship with silicon. So below boron, here you can see the diagonal relationship of boron and silicon. How they are similar in diagonally? First, if you take the oxides of boron and silicon, they are all acidic in nature. So oxides of boron means like you can take H3BO3, which is a boric acid, SiO3, which is a silicate. They both are acidic in nature. Okay. Next, both boron and silicon, they form covalent hydrides, which can be easily hydrolyzed. So they will be forming hydrides. They can be easily dissolved in water. We call it as hydrolyzed. Except boron trifluoride, which is BF3, halides of both elements like boron and silicon, they are readily hydrolyzed, which means except BF3, SiCl3, that is a chlorosilicate. then borosilicate, boron trichloride, all they will be readily dissolving in water. So this is how they show diagonal relationship. Next, if you take group 14, the first member in group 14 is carbon, which is a non-metal, which is strictly a non-metal, and all the other elements are metalloids and metals. Is it clear? So unlike the other elements, one special property of carbon is, you all know very well, because of this carbon only we have a new branch of chemistry itself, which is a organic chemistry. This carbon has a capacity to form multiple bonds. Because its valency is 4, we cannot add 4 electrons to carbon, and we cannot remove those 4 electrons. Instead, the carbon will be sharing its 4 electrons to form multiple bonds, which has a greater tendency of catenating property. Catenating property means what? Chain forming property. This chain forming property will be decreasing from carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. Is it clear? If you take the group 15, the first element, nitrogen also differs from the rest of the element, because this nitrogen will be existing as a gas, diatomic gas. It also shows a multiple bond similar to that of the carbon. It is a diatomic gas of the member. Same way, if you take group 16, oxygen is the first element, which is also a diatomic gas, and it can form hydrogen bond because of its high electronegativity. Next, if you finally take group 17, which is fluorine, the first element, which is highly electronegative. Of course, this fluorine is the highly electronegative element in the periodic table itself. This fluorine is highly electronegative in this group 17, and it also behaves quite differently from the other elements in the group. This also forms hydrogen bond. It can show only -1 oxidation state, while the other halogens like chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine will be showing +1, +3, +5 and +7 oxidation state along with the -1 oxidation state. And this fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent and the most reactive element because among the halogens. Is it clear now how they are deviating? The first member alone, they are showing some different kind of property.